Hi guys, welcome to Oddcast, a For Nerds by Nerds show. Today you're joined by myself, Joe, my co-hosts Paige and Cian, and we're going to discuss something that came out today. Ghost of Tsushima, the Director's Cut, which is another expansion for Ghost of Tsushima, and it is actually a paid one as opposed to the Legends downloadable content, which was free. However, before we dive into the details of that expansion, now is your opportunity to go ahead and hit that like and notification so that you can be notified when we discuss any of our number of topics that we bring up randomly at different times. So the expansion is supposed to be the same size as the first area of the Ghost of Tsushima map,
which was massive.
It's the largest area.
And this is Iki Island, which is off the side, off the coast of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So it's like a separate island that you get to journey to, and it has all kinds of cool added content.
I mean, they were talking about new bosses, new armor, new equipment for the horse, new weapons.
There's also apparently a new animal you can pet, which all that means to me is that there's going to be new shrines that you have to do, but instead of them being an Ari, they're going to be some other animal.
There are animal sanctuary shrines, which include a monkey, a deer, and the thing that Paige is going to be the most happy about, a cat.
Yay!
You apparently do things to calm the area, which uses your flute, and that allows you to tame animals, and then anytime you visit that sanctuary area, you get to pet the animal that you have tamed.
And,
I like this even more now.
Yeah, so the cool thing about it, though, is that what I like about this new Director's Cut is that it's literally almost basically a whole new game.
I don't know that it's an entire new game. It's
Not
it's a large
yeah.
DLC.
Yeah, very large
DLCs do not come in the same shapes and sizes. They are not all created equal. Sometimes it's one mission that you paid for, and that is such bullshit when they do that. But sometimes, it's a string of missions, or an area that's added on. But this one is one of the largest ones that I've ever heard of, and I cannot wait to play it today.
So my understanding is that it's supposed to take approximately 16 hours is the estimation that people think or have associated with it, which puts it on par with, I think, Blood and Wine, which is the Witcher 3 expansion, the second expansion for the Witcher 3, which obviously had a whole new story element to it, and that is also here. You did mention new bosses, and there is a new boss, and that is the Eagle. She is not only a Mongol, she is also a shaman, so it'll be interesting to see a religious philosophy kind of find its way into Tsushima.
Well, I mean, when you look at the Shintoism that is all throughout Tsushima, and then you look at what the Mongols bring in, which, the Mongols take on whatever they come across, whatever they conquer, they take the parts that they want, which is part of what makes the Mongol culture very interesting. However, this invasion, I'm really interested because it could come from, she could be part Chinese, she could be actually just Mongolian, she could be from any of the area that the Mongols have taken over. So I'm curious of what this new boss has to offer. But what's really interesting is the story element to this, because they said it's going to be look into his past. The story is not just going to be straight up Mongol invasion, but more looking into something from his past, which I'm curious what exactly from his past is going to be.
And hopefully it kind of it opens up his character a whole lot more. And what's also interesting too is that it may also make me want to replay the game from beginning. Well, can you even play? Do you even know if you're able to play?
I do actually know this answer. So Paige and I have both beaten Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
And Cian has not yet beaten the game, but he is actively playing through the story right now.
But I watched the ending, so.
How could you do that to yourself?
Joke.
What is the matter with you?
Joke.
I would have left the room.
No.
Oh my god.
Stuff like that doesn't bother me.
Right
Stuff
here.
like that doesn't really bother me.
You can only experience the story for the first time once, and you ruined it for yourself.
It's more in the action.
So what I was going to say is that it apparently is going to work a little bit like another expansion that I played that I really liked, which is Horizon: The Frozen Wilds. Which is great.
It is.
And it did this scaling thing. So, your level determines how hard or difficult the area is. So, kind of like the Assassin's Creed thing that they've got going now.
But how are they going to do it in this?
So, apparently, once you've beaten Area 1, it unlocks the prologue for Iki Island. And then once you've completed the prologue, you can make it to the island, then you have to complete missions there, and then you can freely go between the island and Tsushima at any time.
Pretty dope.
Dope. You can go, whether you've beaten the game like we have, we get to return now to Tsushima, or we can actually do it as part of our free game, New Game Plus, and then you can actually go now because you've made it past the first area.
Yeah, as long as you're in Toyotama or after, which is the second part of the island, then yes, you can access Iki Island.
So, other parts of the expansion that I'm excited about, you had mentioned horse armor before. That is a thing, however, it's not alone. It comes with its own skill tree, which includes horse combat.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know about that!
I didn't know either.
Like, in the trailer, it's pretty cool. You can actually see Jin charge into combat with this horse now, with the horse actually having antlers.
Oh, yeah,
as
no,
the stag.
I did see that picture, but I didn't realize it was
I didn't realize that, no.
Okay,
All new
that's
skills.
cool.
And then you've got new armors. My understanding is there's actually a couple new weapons and maybe some new gadgets, although they haven't really released.
Well, they're probably ghost.
Yeah.
They're probably ghost weapons.
Yeah, I heard that the ghost weapons are more advanced
because
now.
I mean, you don't have other. I mean, you do. I think there's one more slot, but maybe you'll have to like assign them if they have too many more. So
Now, I do know that one of the big things that people were talking about is the Japanese dub, to where it matches the lips now. Because before it was a big issue to where people just did not like the fact that one of the coolest features of the game is that you can actually play the entire game using Japanese English subtitles with Japanese voices.
Yeah.
So now the game matches the voice with the lips.
Which was
a
the
lot
thing.
better. It was a big issue.
It didn't match at all. They
Yeah.
were the characters were speaking their English words, but the actual characters' lips were moving to the English words, even though the Japanese words were what they were saying. Yeah. I actually started the game playing the Japanese.
I started the game playing Japanese. I was like, cut that shit off.
It bothered me so much that I had to stop. Luckily, I didn't make it much past the first battle, but I couldn't handle it.
I was going to play the whole game in black and white. And
I considered it.
I was going to play the whole game in black and white but I couldn't get through it. I was like, all right.
Well, no, the colors are too vivid. Like, I can appreciate the cinematicness, like, I had wanted to, but the colors were too pretty. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it to myself.
Photo mode is a very heavy thing on Ghost of Tsushima. They figured out how to let fans just self-market on their own. I took
so many photos.
Other parts that come along with the expansion, obviously, are new areas, so all new photo mode stuff.
Yeah.
The option to remove the quiver, and while the lip sync feature is a big one, it is only available to people who have the Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, the director's cut on the PS5.
Which none of us have, so I'm still going to play it in English.
And then, of course, you've got added things like the ability, like I said, to remove your quiver so that you can get better photos or just not carry it around with you. It wasn't even a thing that crossed my mind, but apparently it was something that people wanted online.
Sure.
And then they have other expansions coming to the Legends DLC, which is free for everybody, and that'll continue to be so. I believe Rivals is the name of the new mode or event.
Isn't there one more like DLC that's going to be on the PS4? The
there is another expansion
PS5, but
coming.
they haven't said what it was yet?
Correct.
Yeah, they haven't said what it was, so it's like...
You are 100% correct. But again, it's that difference to get to the PS5, which has led us to a little bit of controversy with the game.
Yeah, because of the price points.
Yeah, the price points are weird, and they're only weird if you are like myself, or if you've already purchased the game for the PS4. Like, I pre-ordered the game, so, I mean, as is often the case, I'm very used to, after it's out, you kind of get what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hold anybody accountable for that. Like, okay, well, I paid $60 for this game when it first came out. Anybody who buys it now is going to pay less for the game plus the DLC. That happened to me on The Division. That happened to me on Horizon. That has happened to me on almost every game that I have bought when it first launched.
It's not a big deal, to me at least, as far as getting it, paying $60 and then finding out later, like maybe a couple months later, that it's... $49.99 or some shit like that.
Well, especially not because I know we got the special edition that came with the cool mask and the map and the extra digital content. I mean, I that's why I got it. And I had no problem because I mean we paid more than $60 for that, and I was fine with it.
So you pay $60 for the core game, or at least you were paying $60 for the core game
on the PS4.
On the PS4. Mm-hmm. However, now the director's cut is coming. It is also $60 if you don't already own the game. Mm-hmm. But if you do own the game, then there's an upgrade suite of options. So you can pay $20 right now, and you would get the full DLC of the director's cut added to your Ghost of Tsushima package that you've already got.
On the PS4.
On the PS4. And then you could pay $10 anytime after its release on the 20th. to make that into a PS5 upgrade which comes with the 4K high def. It comes with the haptic feedback, the lip sync, and a sweep of other options that you would be able to use. And then, of course, if you decided that you didn't want to do that and you just wanted to wait to upgrade it directly to the PS5, then you would pay $29.99. So your options are $20 to get the director's cut, and then another $10 to upgrade it to the PS5, or $30 to do both, which is the same price as if you had added them together.
Yeah.
Now, the weird thing, too, is that, and this is actually a recent development, PlayStation actually has removed Ghost of Tsushima, the original Ghost of Tsushima, off their PlayStation list on their PlayStation
the digital copy. You can still buy it
in the stores. Absolutely. But if you decide to download it digitally, they've removed it. Mm-hmm. And we are assuming that they removed it because the director's cut is coming out, so they're just kind of telling people, go ahead and just get the director's cut. But when people have tried to contact PlayStation to find out why, because there's been no reason, there's been no discussion on why they did it, but they're not responding. Mm-hmm. So it's a little weird, but I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I still fall into the okay with it category because
me too.
It's kind of, it is what it is. And don't get me wrong, I understand that, like, getting the short end of the stick because I bought the game at launch for $60 and now I'm paying another $30, which means that my total package is going to be $90 as opposed to somebody who doesn't yet own the game paying just $60.
Yeah. So we think that might be the reason why they've been kind of closed-lipped about why they did what they did, but...
Well, unfortunately, Sony has come under some fire about their price points, so I'm not surprised that they chose not to comment on their pricing choices. But at the end of the day, I fall into the I'm okay with it, too, because the content is great. It'll go on sale eventually if you are willing to wait. And, you know, a lot of people, more than just Sony, is getting this money. A lot of developers put their heart and soul into making this game. So I kind of try to look at it that way, to supporting the gaming community as a whole. So I'm okay with it.
But what are you guys' thoughts? You guys think that are you guys excited about the game that's even coming out? All the added bonus features, all the added content, the bosses, the new just everything. I mean, it's a lot of stuff on this one game.
I just want the story.
What is your favorite thing that's been added in the content? And speaking of supporting communities, now's your opportunity before the video ends to go ahead and that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, we're pretty much done. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining, and have a wonderful day.
Happy playing.